Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we have an amazing story. Let's see why the Americans are freaking out because of this big beautiful bill and the effect on the seniors. Let's dive into the story and we're gonna do some talking as we watch the video.
Well, you just couldn't call, could you, MAGAs? You just couldn't help out a few thousand or million people who are going to go hungry and are going to live in the fucking streets. Thanks, MAGA. Thanks a whole hell of a lot. Because most of the goddamn people live in your fucking states.
We don't want to hear shit when you lose your Medicaid. We don't want to hear shit when you lose your SNAP. We don't want to hear shit from those states when FEMA doesn't show up for your tornadoes, hurricanes, and floods this year. We don't want to hear shit when you figure out that those tax breaks are not for you, but they're for the rich. We don't want to hear shit when you figure out that no tax on tips and overtime ain't even real. We don't want to hear shit when you figure out that he is increasing the debt ceiling by trillions of dollars, which is going to cost us a lot. Because we try to tell you. So you're excited about this bill passing? Just remember, when all that shit happens to you, to not open your fucking mouth.
Big beautiful bill, Medicaid cuts. I'm for it because I'm an able-bodied American citizen right now. I'm headed to work. I work at least 40 hours a week. People need to stop just getting free benefits. If you can go to work, you need to go to work because we're tired of paying for everybody. So Medicaid cuts, we're here for it.
It's my mother-in-law. She worked 40 hours a week too at the same company for 32 years, and she was union, and then she got brain tumors and she lost her health insurance because if you're not working, you're gonna lose your health insurance, and then Medicaid and Medicare kick in. Every single person is one tragedy away from having to be on Medicaid and Medicare. You're one brain tumor, one car accident, and for you specifically, looking at you, I can tell you're one heart attack away from needing Medicaid and Medicare. Now, I know that you think everybody that's on them is lazy illegals, but guess what? One day, you're gonna need it and you're not gonna have it. And it's not you that's paying everything. It's people like me, the younger generation, that are paying for that, for you, for her. Now, thank God that she had successful children that can subsidize her way of life, because Medicare and Medicaid, it don't cover it all. You're going to be in poverty forever, and you're going to lose your house, you're going to lose your home, you're going to lose everything that you ever worked for, and you're going to have to move in with your kids. So I hope that you have fucking rich kids, because you just made that little tiny entitlement that you're going to need fucking smaller. I would like people like you to think of the future. You're gonna need it. For you, it's probably gonna be a couple years, all right? Because I could tell you've probably been eating butter and fried chicken for the last 20 years.
I'm not MAGA, please don't scroll. I have a moral compass and a soul, and I woke up super frustrated because of all this big, beautiful bill stuff. It's like having flashbacks of that thing we went through not too long ago that cost over 1 million American lives. Just trying to tell people to protect themselves, protect their loved ones, even people that we don't necessarily agree with or even like. They sure as hell don't like us. And we watched countless family members of theirs pass away due to that horrible pandemic. And now you've got countless MAGA influencers all over the web rooting for the big, beautiful bill because Donald Trump supports it 100%. Even though the very same things that all these MAGA influencers and MAGA members of Congress railed against Biden for, not putting America first, increasing taxes to the middle class, you don't get your no tax on tips, and the no tax on overtime is so specific, you're still going to be taxed on overtime. But not only that, for your own self-serving purposes, your rural hospitals in your red states, your senior living assisted facilities, they're going to be shut down. Because in red states, they all rely on Medicaid and Medicare to function. This is going to affect everyone, red and blue states. But red states, your governors and your members of Congress and your state legislator all lie to you. Y'all do not have the state budget to finance your own healthcare programs. Your mothers, your fathers, your sons, your daughters, your nieces, your nephews, your brothers, your sisters, they all rely on one or all of the programs that this big, beautiful bill is going to cut. And the MAGA influencers out there, the Charlie Kirks, are being paid handsomely to tell you that's not true. This bill is big, but mark my words, there's absolutely nothing beautiful about it. This is not America first. And you know what? Even if you're MAGA and you can't stand me, an independent progressive, I still don't want to see bad things happen to you or your family. Because an actual patriot has concern for all Americans. Donald Trump isn't a patriot. We lost over 1 million Americans and he treated it like it was just another Tuesday. If any pro-Trump online or TV personality is telling you to support this thing, they don't care about you, MAGA. Real patriots care about you. Even though all this MAGA stuff, this hate, this police state has given us every single reason in the book not to. I have said and will continue to say, Republicans are welcome at my table anytime, even if we disagree. And there should be a shared mutual respect as Americans. Not MAGA. MAGA's a lie. And every single voice supporting this thing is being paid to lie. Real patriots care about you.
Yes, let's dive in for a minute. This guy is a real patriot and he cares for America. You guys can hear from his voice. Everybody's working on his table, both Republican, Democrat. Is one America. And one thing we forget to know is that America is the country of the immigrant. Even those in the Senate, their parents migrate from somewhere. Even the president, do you know his mother Mary Ann come from Scottish Ireland? And we are all Americans. So America is a country of immigrant and that's why they're great. Anyway, let's continue. We're gonna add more credits as the video goes on.
Trump supporters, I hope y'all know what y'all did. We don't want to hear a damn thing when y'all realize y'all have lost everything. SNAP, Medicaid, Social Security, Veterans Assistance, FEMA. We don't want to hear y'all get on not one platform and say, oh my God, this is not what I voted for. You knew what you were getting. You knew you were getting the same exact thing you got in 2020. The only thing is, you're going to be dumb enough to sit up here and blame someone else for Trump's decisions and your vote. Because by the time this comes down the pipeline, it'll be 27, 28. And Frumpy will be getting ready to get out of the office. And the next president will take his place. And that president will be responsible for everything this man has created right now in 2025. I don't want to hear your children don't have an education. They don't have food to eat at school. Free lunches are gone. Nobody wants to hear that there is no hospital in your goddamn town anymore. Because you voted for your hospital to be destroyed. Because you voted to eliminate everything, including Medicaid. And the reason you voted for all of this, because you only thought it was going to affect immigrants and people who were not white. Congratulations, you played yourself.
So they officially passed the big, beautiful bill, and it's now going to go into effect. But it's just really dumb to me because they're going to be cutting Medicaid and SNAP benefits. So what is the point of that? They're also cutting student aid and then cutting funding from public schools as well. But you know what they're going to do? They're going to take away the tax on gun silencers. They're going to lower the taxes on that because that's what matters. You know what I mean? It's just crazy that they called it a big, beautiful bill when it quite literally is going to affect a lot of Americans in a negative way because they receive these benefits. They receive this government assistance because they need it and that's why they have it. And now all of that shit is being cut. Makes absolutely no sense at all. And it's being cut in order for rich people to get more rich. When the people who are on assistance because they need that. The rich people don't technically need that government assistance. So why the fuck are you getting rid of something that's helping other people in order for you to get richer when you already have a lot of money? You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And it's called a big, beautiful bill, which is ironic because it's ugly as fuck. And it's literally going to cause harm to a lot of people in America. Just, it makes no sense to me at all. This shit is actually so fucking dumb. It's ridiculous. It's actually stupid.
Barack Obama once said, elections have consequences. And I say to the American people, elections have consequences. This big, beautiful bill is the sum total of everything we warned Trump supporters about. So many of you were voting on emotion, but not facts. You were voting on what you felt, not what was known, not what was given. The Republican Party, for Christ's sake, wrote out an entire book called Project 2025, a roadmap to what it is they wanted to achieve once they obtained power. And many of you refuse to read it. Many of you refuse to understand the content that was in that book. And now, because of your ignorance, you're now in a situation where you have a president that you supported who is doing everything in his power to uproot y'all's lives. This big, beautiful bill strips the very programs that many Trump supporters benefit from, and also those who did not vote for Donald Trump. Your white, uneducated Americans who live in rural areas, you guys are going to be hurting soon. That hospital that exists in your small town is about to be stripped clean because it received a lot of government subsidies to stay open. That way you didn't have to drive miles and miles and miles to the next hospital. Now you won't have that anymore. Those hospitals will now close. This is why it's so important to vote based off of facts and not your opinion, not your emotions, and not what you feel. Because you end up in situations like this. And I say again, my fellow Americans, elections have consequences. And this is a consequence of the vote you all casted in November of last year. Live with it.
So I got a legitimate question, right? Why the fuck are we still paying taxes? Nah, I'm being so dead ass because with this new budget bill that just passed, they are cutting trillions out the budget in all the things that make our way of life somewhat palatable. All the different social safety nets that people depend on to get by is essentially being gutted in one way or another. Everything from Medicare, Medicaid, SNAP, WIC, the FDA, the EPA, FEMA. There's a reason why that tornado was over your head before you even knew about what was happening this past summer. It's because they've been gutting the agencies that would give you the early warning. Like, it's been happening all year, and this budget bill is going to take it to the next level. And we have to remember, they're still taxing us at the same fucking rate. Our taxes are not being cut. Our taxes are not going down. And yet they are cutting trillions out the budget. Trillions of stuff that we fucking need, while also giving the 1% a tax cut. This is robbery. Plain and simple, happening in broad fucking daylight. And when this shit starts to take effect and all of these things that we've depended on and we've taken for granted so far are no longer there because they've been cut, but they still want their fucking money, we gonna have to ask ourselves a serious question. Why the fuck are we still paying taxes? Because what are we supposed to get out of it? You pay taxes to ensure a certain way of life in the area or country you live in. If that way of life is no longer guaranteed and yet they still want their fucking money, they just robbing niggas blind. And to add insult to injury, they giving these billionaires who do not need a tax break. Let me say that one more time. They don't need the money. They're giving them a break. They're giving them their money back. Meanwhile, when you file at the end of the year, you owe. How is that?
It's right before this video. I posted one where I was talking about how the big, beautiful "we're all gonna die" bill passed the Senate, and I talked about Lisa Murkowski and her cowardice. And I closed out that video by saying that I want the consequences of this legislation to land squarely and devastatingly on the lives of the people in this country who voted for Donald Trump. And then I kind of ran out of time. But I wanted to explain why I feel that way. It's because of their cruelty. Their celebration of committing acts of cruelty towards other Americans and towards immigrants and towards marginalized communities. It is their cruelty and their hatred of the LGBTQ community, of women, of black and brown people. Their disregard for the sick, the poor, the disabled, in utter 100% contravention of their uniformly very loudly stated beliefs in Jesus Christ and his teachings that they completely ignore and distort. I mean, just their attacks on trans kids alone. Kids. It is their cruelty. I can forgive people for being dumb. I can forgive people for being gullible, for being easily manipulated and uneducated. I don't and can't forgive their cruelty and how loud they are about it and how much they celebrate it, how much they revel in it, how much they just flat out get off on the pain and suffering of people they don't like. Which, as near as I can tell, is about 70% of the population of this country. Cruelty on purpose against people you view as being less than you, or against people who can't fight back, that just gets a great big fuck you from me. And so I hope the consequences of this bill hit Trump supporters like a goddamn freight train. Their health care, their health coverage, their health, their housing, food insecurity, every single aspect of their life. I want this legislation to burn it to the fucking ground, right in front of their faces. And I want them to feel every second of it. I want them to feel every second of it while they're crying out Daddy Trump's name, wondering how he could do this to them. As they spritz themselves with Donald Trump's new $249 a bottle cologne that they bought because they're stupid. I dislike the level of anger that these people bring out in me. I dislike the level of actual hatred that these people bring out in me for them. But they deserve every fucking bit of it. They absolutely deserve every bit of it because of their smugness and their cruelty. They're just fucking mean. And they have no redeeming qualities anymore at all whatsoever. And I hope that this legislation treats them accordingly.
Some of the MAGA people are no longer celebrating because their loved ones are seriously hurt. For instance, the farmers. A lot of farmers lost almost 100% of their workers, like most especially the MAGA farmers in Texas and Florida. And also, when it comes to federal jobs, a lot of them lost their jobs. Now, when we come to the school cuts, there's no longer free meal for the poor kids in school, and now they are struggling. Now it looks like the poor people are being punished for not being able to provide for their children. So the poor are no longer getting the food supplement SNAP that they were getting before. Now when we go to Medicare, a lot of seniors are freaking out, not being sure of what will happen to them tomorrow. And after their hard work, it looks like they're being punished for living long. And where does this leave them? Now you know that a lot of people depend in Medicare, like people with intellectual disability, the seniors, and people with underlying medical issue. And what kills people most is not even the sickness or the diagnosis. What kills people is stress, not knowing where to get your medication and how to fund it. And that this stress kills people. So people are worried, people are freaking out. A lot of the MAGA supporters now are regretting their vote. A lot of them voted not knowing what they're getting into. Rather, they were busy thinking about the immigrant, how they're gonna deport them
back to where they come from. But one thing they forget is that America is the country of the immigrant. Everybody here migrate from somewhere. Even the people in the Senate came from somewhere, including our president, Donald Trump. He came from somewhere. His mother, Marianne, came from Scottish Island, and they migrate to United States. And his father is from Germany. Now they are now calling themselves white. Are they really white? And you find out that most people that claim they are white, they came from somewhere. They are not even real American. The real American people are the red Indians. So everyone that came here, or in the Senate or in the House, they migrate from one place to another to be here. At the end of the day, does it worth the headache? It was what made American great was the immigrant that came over here to migrate, and they put in their hard work to make this country what it is today. But I guess the Americans, they say they forget easily. From what is happening now, this is a lesson learned. Anyway, one thing we have to know that everybody is not built the same. There's some job that is meant for some people to do, and some other people should do it. Now when the immigrants are gone and there's nobody to harvest the farm, what happens? There's nobody. The black people were not ready to go back to the job that their forefathers and their ancestors left almost 200 and something years ago. They refuse to go back there. And even immigrants that come in from other countries, they are not ready to go to the farm because they are well-educated people. Even people from Africa, they are well-educated people. They go for high-paying jobs. Now, when you see the amigos, that's the Latinos doing this job, you don't know how hard these people work with minimum wage, and you're gonna send them home. Now, who's gonna do the work? And one thing we have to remember, before we see all those food on the aisle, there's some people that make that food to be processed, clean, before they send them to that supermarket where we go there to pick our blueberries, our cherries, our carrots, our salad. People clean them up. It did not go to that grocery store by itself. And when all these people are now deported, you can see a lot of videos going viral on how the food are being rotten in the farm. So at the end of the day, which way, America? Did we make the right decision? I know that this vote was tied, and it was the Vice President J.D. Vance that broke the tie of this vote, and he has cost America a lot. Anyway, drop your comment on the comment section, and I give credit to all those that put these videos together and we make it happen. But anyway, what you're hearing here today is something that you don't hear on CNN, BBC, and the rest. But we bring it to you raw and real, the way it is. Anyway, thank you for watching. Until next time.